says, mijo, something's gonna blow. Flags fade on the old hotel, tourists drink their rum and go. Radio talks into accents about a brand new vote. Cuba, 51st state of the sun, stars and stripes in the Caribbean. Same blue waves, a different anthem, still the same red in our drum. Busted barrio, kids swap caps, argy calls. One said soon we're buying hot dogs in a big new stadium wall. Street band plays old boleros, slides into something strange. A pledge in a different language, but the hope feels just the same. In the Caribbean, same blue waves, a different anthem, still the same red in our drum. Cuba, 51st state of the sun, side by side on that banner we run. From Havana down to Key West, we rise as 51. Just on the truck bed, mile after mile, fields stretch out wide like they got a mind of their own. Red sign at the hall, coffee gone cold, everybody talking with a fire in their bones. Hear that rumble now, under boots on the floor. October is coming and we want something more. October 19th, we're standing up. October 19th, we've had enough. Alberta singing loud, let the whole world hear. October 19th, freedom's here. Hard hats on hooks, checks run thin, hands on the ledger and the same old grin. From the shop to the rig, from the barn to the street, people keep asking, what do we believe? Hear that rumble now, under boots on the floor. October
welcome to the NPC show. Deprogramming the world one NPC at a time. I'm your host, Frank. Today is Sunday, July 5th, 2026. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Hope you had a great night. I'm sure some of you are hungover, but thank you for being here. Thank you for making it this morning. Kind of a short show, but we have an extensive watch party because last night's festivities was freaking awesome, man. Half of it we're gonna watch it everywhere, including YouTube, and then the fireworks show will be on Rumble only because there's a lot of copyright music in that one. Boy, it was huge. I was like, whoa! It was just like song after song after song. It just never ended. It was just it was the biggest fireworks show in the history of this country. And when I first heard that, I doubted it. I was just kind of like, I've been to EDC. They're pretty lit. Like there's like a little racetrack, you know, Las Vegas Speedway, fireworks all the way around, and it goes on for like a half an hour. No, the White House beat it for 250. Yeah, 850,000 mortars fired. Yeah. Let's see. What is that? Okay, whatever's. Sorry, just stores are popping up, and I'm like, is that newsworthy? Is that newsworthy? Yeah. Okay, whatever's. Anyways, guys, good morning. Good morning, Kim, Mary, Lisa, Carrie, good to see you. Jennifer Flynn, David Stores, Bendy, good to see you. More Chaos, the other Mary, good to see you. Eric, Diane, Kismet, Velma, Lisa, good to see you. Good morning. Oh, you missed all that. Okay, perfect. You're gonna get to watch that today. You have to go to Rumble for the fireworks part though, because that part is very good. The presentation he brought out, like not just historical people who are still alive with us, like, you know, he brought out like the World War II vets. He brought, you know, Francis Scott Key, you know, remember that bridge that collapsed? His son came out. He's actually in the service, career military. He came out. They brought out like the flags, all the historical flags. They brought the flag that was on Abraham Lincoln's coffin. They brought the flag that was flown at like some battle that we won. It's like one of the key battles that we won to defeat the Brits. You know, pretty cool stuff. I was just like, wow, like it was a whole history show as well, and it wasn't boring. You know what I mean? So it was cool to see all of that, and then the massive fireworks show at the end of it. Oh, and by the way, the fireworks show, the music was not just pre-recorded garbage. Yes, it was you know, some of the greatest hits in this country's history, and not pre-recorded. It was all played by the United States Marines. Everything from the drummer to the guitarist to the horns to the singers, they were all U.S. servicemen and women. I think the vocalists were almost all girls, or this one dude. I think because, you know, military guys don't sing. I mean, come on. That's a very few that do. But the women love singing, right? They're always like, yeah, I got a microphone, yeah. All right. So that was cool stuff. It was a really great show. Good morning, Rhoda. Rock the Casbah, good to see you. And hello, Steven. Good morning. Hello to everyone over on Rumble. Mary, Josie, Jean, Jillian, good to see you. Yeah, she went to sleep. Jillian sleeps early, but we'll get to watch it together over on Rumble. There's Mary Campbell, and I should have let Kathy know that we were watching it. I had no idea it was starting, so we were just kind of dilly-dallying over on Foxhole after a movie, and then we were just like 4 or 5 minutes behind the actual event happening. So today. Where we at, Foxhole? Here we go. Good morning, Stephanie. Holy crap, I got it on real quick. Give me a second. Ugh. Good Lord. I had some breakfast salad just lingering. So hello, good morning, Josie and Stephanie Sprague over on Foxhole. So yeah, we were on Foxhole last night watching. We did movie night. We did the Independence Day festivities. And boy, it was good. I was expecting it to be just like any other year. No, it was pretty cool, man. It was a whole history lesson, and a lot of key historical figures that are still alive were brought on. You know, yesterday, 2 days ago, we know it was Mount Rushmore. I thought it was a good flow of everything. He did 3 speeches in 4 nights. Mr. Trump did. So pretty cool stuff. So we'll watch most of that over on everywhere, including YouTube. and then we will cut off at the fireworks show and go to Rumble because there's a lot of copyright music there. It doesn't matter that they're covers; they still get detected because these bands are good. I mean, it sounded all pre-recorded, but no, they were there. They're jamming out their guitars. Yeah, the Marines, the same guy. I think it's the same people who performed at the UFC event. Yeah. Anywho, hello Torque Wrench. Good morning, Torquers. Hello Patriot 626 Diane. Good to see you. She says the opera singer that said the last words meant "we don't sleep" was awesome. Christopher Machio, yeah. His I first heard about him from the RNC convention of 2020. You remember that one where it was during COVID and it wasn't at a big arena because we had to keep everyone like isolated or whatever. So it was just a few people. No, it was at the White House, and Christopher Machio did like a 7-minute set. No, I'm sorry. I think it was like probably 10. And then I basically would on primary party nights when we would watch the primaries, we would try to take the house back. I would play that to open the show. I would play that to open this show. Anywho, yeah, it was a pretty good show. What does it sounds like? Okay, cool. Las Vegas. Oh, okay. Las Vegas also celebrated the last night. Let's add that because Las Vegas usually only does New Year's Eve. Let's see. No, that's Boston. Here's Las Vegas. Let's add Las Vegas. Las Vegas also had fireworks last night. That's surprising because they're not exactly a pro-America county, right? Clark County. Anywho. Time lapse at the fireworks show. Okay, that looks interesting too. Let's go look at that. We'll add that to the show. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of stuff popping up from last night. They're just waking up, shaking off their hangover, you know, and they're like, oh, let's go check out some of the stuff that happened last night. Yeah, I in my town, last year was a tons of fireworks, but I think this year people were I don't know why there weren't as many fireworks this year as last year in this town. It is a military town, so it should have been. Maybe they're all in DC. I don't know. Anyways, good morning, Tara. Good to see you. Hello, Christian Moore. Good morning to you. Hello, Kyokin. Good to see you. Is this the channel where I get extended warranty for my toaster? Yes, because everything is made by a crappy Chinese person that makes crappy products. And I know I look Korean, but I'm actually Chinese. Yeah, not known for our craftsmanship, but if you want cheap, we got lots of slaves to make that for ya. They're called Uyghurs, aka Turkish Muslims. I don't feel as bad, you know, when you look at the fact that they're burning churches and stabbing, you know, Westerners in our own countries. It's like, you know, maybe China's got a point. Maybe we ship our Arabs. Hello, Kathy. Good morning, dear. Yeah, by the way, we I think like 5 minutes after you took off, we tuned into the Independence Day festivities last night. We were like 5 minutes behind, but we still watched all of it as well. We're gonna watch it again at the end of this show. Half of it will be on all platforms. You know, the Christopher Machio, Lee Greenwood, and then Trump's speech and the historical presentation, by the way. And then once the fireworks show starts, we'll cut off and we'll go over to Rumble only because there's a lot of copyright music there. Anyways, please support the Ignited Caucasian Foundation. I'm not sure what you mean. You mean the Patriot Front? You mean the SPLC? Yeah, they're back, guys. They're back. These guys have no fucking shame. Let's get going with the show. First story of the day. SPLC reunion happens on Independence Day, the 250th anniversary of this country. Last night, this Patriot Front group, which, again, we already have documents that they're funded by the SPLC, okay? They actually are facing criminal charges as a result of that. And they're still doing it. They're still like showing up. They hire a bunch of whiteys. Here, they're all skinny, which means they're not real Americans. You know, because, again, if you're a real American, you eat, you're fat. This is what we do, you know? Ask all the foreigners visiting for World Cup. Ask them how delicious American food is compared to their home country. They now know why we're fat. Okay? Anyways, so they're out doing their thing again. They're screaming things like Aryan supremacy, which might be who Kyoko is, because he's pushing something about a Caucasian foundation. Like, okay, yeah. You must be Nick Fuentes' crew. Are you one of the Groypers? You know that Mexican that wants a white ethno state for himself? That's funny, isn't it? My name's Nick Fuentes, SA. I want everything white, Holmes. He doesn't talk like that. Anyways, yeah, they're out screaming. What are they screaming? Something about Aryan cleansing. I don't know what they're saying. They're chanting stupid stuff again. They're chanting all the same stuff. I'm telling you, Nick Fuentes is absolutely SPLC funded. I'm almost certain. It makes a lot of sense, right? Oh, great with this ads. Holy crap. Rumble. I got Rumble Premium. Embedded videos don't work with this. Okay, we get the idea. And fucking dorks. I like they started recruiting some fat people. You remember when they're all skinny soy Antifa boys who are probably all vegans? And then I called them out. I called them out for being not really American because they're all skinny. And then they start hiring tortas, huh? Those are probably fat Mexican women, actually, when you think about it, right? Their hair tied up in a bun, right? Here they are marching. Yeah, you gotta earn that money, huh? You gotta earn that code pink money, huh?
Flag. That's about it.
This is them setting up. They're chanting "Reclaim America." I thought we already did that, dipshit. Hello? Do you not see? Did you not see 10,000 illegal bean cake McGee's getting thrown out of the country since the beginning of this month, by the way? Yeah. In 5 days. ICE worked throughout the holidays. They don't get breaks. They might have clocked out and had a barbecue and watched some fireworks, but they worked on the 4th. It's good overtime. Yeah. Anyway, so SPLC's at it again. I mean, you don't want to come up with a different shtick, you know? Considering we know these are all black loyalists here. You guys are stupid, man. What a waste of money this is. Next story. A large crowd marches towards the White House chanting 8647. I'm telling you, when we see stuff like this, they're, and by the way, blocking traffic. Okay? That is not peaceful assembly. That is a crime. They should absolutely get a drone strike for this, you know? At what point are we going to just couldn't we just kettle these people, kettle them in, arrest them all, and arrest everyone, charge everyone with an 8647 sign, anyone who was caught saying it. By the way, when I was a kid, we used to sneak out of the house and go street racing, right? Not that we drove, but our friends drove, but we go to see street racing. Okay, you know what the cops did? They kettled. They blocked both sides of the road. They blocked every car. Everyone got a ticket, including myself. I got a curfew ticket, okay, because I was just a passenger. But everyone got tickets. And you know what else they did? They had undercovers filming everyone who's racing. Every car who was racing got impounded. And we couldn't have done that here, or what? They're blocking the road. This is not peaceful assembly. Look at these dorks. This is what happens when you don't work hard and learn a lot. You know, I always tell people, when you get a job, learn at least one thing per day. And then your career will always develop. You'll always grow. You'll always do better. You'll have a better chance of moving up. If you go in and just do the same shit every day at work, and you're not interested in any of the goings on up top, you're just gonna stay there, and that's fine. That's fine if you want to do that. But if you're looking to do big things, you got to learn one thing a day. None of these people did that. That's why they're having to take money from George Soros, Neville Singham, Mark Bray, and Christopher Hahn, those Marxist billionaires, to preach about, oh, how bad America is. Look at these losers. Yeah. Look at her. She says freedom 250 is a grift. Yeah, anything we want to do is a grift. Of course it is. And you're totally not getting paid for this, lady. Remember, every time you see one of these groups protesting here at a very specific time, they all disappear because there's no overtime afforded. Okay, the overtime is not budgeted for. You gotta clock out. You gotta all leave at the same time, huh? Yeah, there's you see this lady with a sign right there that says child artist. Yeah, she's definitely a CoffeeZilla fan right there. She probably fell for his propaganda, spreading the lies about Donald Trump. Next story. Former U.S. Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, who, by the way, is McConnell's wife, Mitch McConnell. There's a leaked photos. This is from Getty Images, okay? This is a photo according to the metadata. The photo was taken 3 days after McConnell was admitted to the hospital. Remember that 911 call we played? Yeah, that one. This is his wife. She had to rush to China. Obviously, she's not going to do a same-day flight, overnight flight, because that's expensive. So, we got to figure things out. She got to make her phone call. She got to pack her bags. Not pack her bags. She's got to have her servants pack the bag, because that's not what tyrants do. They don't do their own work. Anyways, so yeah, this is she in Beijing 3 days after McConnell was admitted to the hospital. So for whatever reason that she had to rush out to Beijing for, yeah, I think it's to find new handlers, figure things out. Oh crap, McConnell's going away. What do? We don't exactly have a CCP compliant governor in Kentucky that's going to appoint a CCP compliant senator. So what are we going to do? Right? Looks like you're going to have to buy him out, sir. Anyway, so we got the emergency dispatch audio. So she flew to Beijing on June 17th for a cozy meeting with the Chinese Vice President Han Zhang, just 3 days after Mitch McConnell was rushed to the hospital. Oh, he went into cardiac arrest. Wow. So he's like almost out, huh? He's probably already out. They're probably trying to wait it out, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Remember her? She actually died in 2019, but they lied about it. They kept circulating like old photos of her and old video of her to say that, oh look, this is her arriving at the airport. People found the video from like years ago of her walking through an airport, and like, that's an old video. What are you doing? Google reverse video search. We can do that now. Anyways, his office is off. Thank you very much, David Stewart, for the donation. Look at that. Good stuff. Let's see. His office is offered only vague updates claiming his condition continues to improve from where it was. Yeah, if your heart's not beating, and it is now, yeah, that's an improvement. But is he all there? Is he able to make decisions for this country? Probably not, right? Anyways, so while he fought for his life, his wife went to Beijing. They say schmoozing. I say they're just trying to, she's trying to communicate to them that they're going to have to buy out the governor of Kentucky, which, it's not going to be hard as a Democrat. So, again, Kentucky, truly a blue state. Yeah, nothing about Kentucky is red other than Hickok 45. Anyways, so he urged stronger U.S.-China ties. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. Yes, stronger until we no longer need you. Stronger until we decouple with you. Once Elon Musk starts his little cobalt slave mines and his lithium slave mines in South America, we will not need you anymore. And then you all get to go back to being villagers again, huh? Yeah. Next story. The other day we talked about this situation here, okay? This is the Newsoms down in here. That is his wife who once banged Harvey Weinstein. This is one of his staffers, okay? June of 2024, someone named Dana Williamson was investigated for federal wire fraud and also tax issues, okay? Dana Williamson. She's the staffer of Gavin Newsom. That is not Dana Williamson there. That right there is Alexis Podesta, not related to John at all. This is another Podesta. But Dana Williamson's lawyer had her wear a wire, okay, to catch all of him and his buddies and her buddies talking about all the corrupt shit that they do. And that's why the investigation into Newsom and his wife opened this year, okay? And the reason why Dana Williamson's lawyer had her do that was, for one thing, because if Dana Williamson, if she wants to reduce her time, she's got to spread those years out among all her partners, right, and show them where the money is and An interesting thing about this, as someone in the comments, and by the way, if you want to look for this video, it's on my other channel, Frank's Show Clips. And thank you to those who've been hyping the videos on this channel here. It does help a lot, but if you only get 3 a week, if you hype a video on this channel, it only gets 150 points. If you hype a video on that channel, it gets 2,000. So please hype videos over there. Thank you. Anyways, this video here you can find on that channel. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Watch every video. Watch the whole video. But in that video we talked, someone left a comment and mentioned that June of 2024 was the month around the time when they're pushing Biden out, right? To actually, what was really going on in the behind the scenes was that Pelosi was trying to push Biden out for many months already. The debate didn't happen. The debate between Biden and Trump didn't happen until the end of June, and Biden didn't drop until the end of July. This investigation here into Dana Williamson started in June of 2024. So I will be willing to bet that Pelosi and company have been trying to push Biden out since May, maybe even as early as April. Okay. And Biden launched an investigation into Newsom's crony here, Dana Williamson, as a message to Pelosi to say, don't stop messing with me or I'll take down your son. Okay. And at some point, I think it was in July, Pelosi gave him an ultimatum and say, you want this the easy way or you want it the hard way? So Biden stepped out, but he made sure that the people who helped him cheat the 2020 election did not help Kamala Harris. Okay. And I'm almost certain he offered his help to Trump, but Trump was just like, nah, I just want a fair election. Just make sure no one cheats. Like, okay, I'll do that. Just, don't arrest me and my son. And okay, that's why we're not seeing anything going on with Hunter and Joe, which is a fair trade, I think, right? But anywho, I thought that was very interesting. They pointed out that this all started in June of 2024. And by the way, another thing that's fishy is this whole idea that they had a presidential debate in the month of June. Okay, so I'm almost certain that in the month of April or May, Pelosi and company, the DNC, arranged for this early debate. Okay, and by the way, they made sure that it was in the evening because Biden has sunsetter's dementia, which means it's way, way worse at night, right? They made sure to arrange all of that. And by the way, they probably doped him up. They probably put something in his food or whatever it was because he was messed up beyond more so than he was in like any other like morning speech. Maybe it's a sunsetter's dementia, I don't know. But all of that I thought was pretty interesting. That tied it all in to all the goings on in the election in 2024. So anyways, thank you to the person who mentioned that. I forgot his name already. I pinned his comment. You guys can go see it. Next story. Paul Pelosi's in trouble again. Look at this, driving drunk. That's the mess he made.
Just to come back and see all of the damage, that's pretty serious.
On Friday, around 2:30 in the afternoon, Napa County Sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call reporting a hit-and-run crash. Investigators say the driver was 86-year-old Paul Pelosi, the husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Not the first time. He drives drunk many times. Remember, we have one with a body cam. I don't know if there's a body cam for this one though. You know, Kathy says a hit and run, so probably only for his arrest. I don't think he got arrested. They probably just asked him to show up to the station, and hey, we'll talk to you. He's already sober. It's not even entertaining.
Deputies say Paul Pelosi struck a legally parked vehicle, left the scene, and was found about a quarter mile after his own car became disabled. The investigation...
He was found a quarter mile down the road because his car was not working. That is hilarious.
Determined no alcohol was detected upon screening, therefore a DUI was ruled out. On Saturday, Cron 4 spoke...
Okay, but what else is he on? You didn't detect alcohol. Did you check for coke? Did you check for, fentanyl? His buddies like to sell that stuff all over LA and San Francisco. Did you check his beehole for a hammer? Bet you there's one in there.
With the owner of the damaged vehicle, who confirmed it was this black Tesla shown here. They did not want to appear on camera, but did say their main focus is getting the car repaired as soon as possible. The owner says the Tesla remains at the scene, with debris still scattered on the ground because their insurance company is unable to inspect the damage over the 4th of July holiday weekend.
It's unfortunate that she just didn't park in the driveway that yesterday.
Cron 4 also spoke with a neighbor of the Tesla owner who did not want to be identified. They say they hope this unfortunate incident becomes a lesson for drivers everywhere to pay attention on the road.
It's a residential area and it does have some fast traffic at times, and we do need to slow down even though we have all these little cautions and bike lanes and everything to keep our pedestrians and bicyclists safe. It's still dangerous. So do slow down.
Because no one was injured, Paul Pelosi was not arrested at the scene. The incident comes nearly 4 years after Paul Pelosi pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor DUI in Napa County. In 2022, he was sentenced to jail, placed on probation, ordered to attend a drinking driver program, and required to install an ignition interlock device in his vehicle.
The Napa Valley District Attorney's Office will now decide whether to file a misdemeanor hit and run charge. Pelosi has now been referred to the DMV for a driver
His image is backwards, right? I think that's what it is.
reevaluation.
She might have recorded this with her cell phone, and it mirrors it like this, because they're all parked on the left side of the road.
A standard the sheriff's office says is common for older drivers. Lindsay Ford, Cron 4 News.
Anywho, next story. A DSA Democrat running for governor of Wisconsin wants taxpayer-funded transitions for kids, which again is supposed to be illegal. This lady here, Francesca Hong, Miso Sali, Francesca Hong, is another DSA Democrat running for governor in the state of Wisconsin. Wow, you guys actually have the balls to just run so blatantly like this, huh? Holy crap. That mass migration, the open borders things, it's not working anymore. So you got to coerce blacks to vote for you by dangling free stuff in front of them, right? Free stuff they'll never get, because we know how communists work. They collect all the money and they give a little bit to the people, and then they use the rest for themselves and whatever they need it for. Anyways, so she pointed with this leftover woman here wants to chop off kids' willies. Yeah, awful. It's supposed to be illegal, right? Did we know? Oh, she's on Piker's show. Holy crap, you're like one of the worst looking Asian women ever. Holy crap.
How will you stop ICE from ripping apart neighborhoods and families?
Well, I think it's paramount that the executive, again, wield to the fullest extent the power to ensure that we're protecting all communities from the enforcers of fascism, which is ICE. The Keep Families Together package ensures that we prohibit 287G agreements or local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE. We also have to make sure that we are giving the Attorney General's office.
What are you looking at? The camera's over here. The camera's over here. Holy shit.
Full jurisdiction to be able to sue and prosecute individual ICE agents, as well as district attorneys at the district level. And that state money can go towards...
She's looking at herself in the camera, by the way. That's what it is. Because you know what you're reading this. You're stuttering way too much.
Immigrant justice organizations to help fund different mutual aid efforts, legal observer trainings, know your rights trainings. And I think most importantly, folks need to know that their governor is on their side, and that just because the federal government... we do not have to participate, even when we may not always be able to override federal authority, doesn't require us to participate in it.
Yeah, this is your standard issue leftover Asian woman here. You know, it's funny. I was watching one of those channels that talk about stuff that's going on in China. There's an epidemic of leftover women in China right now. The same thing here, by the way. The only difference is that in China, there's a whole army of Russian and Ukrainian women who have moved there. Okay, and there's so much more. There's so much better wives. They're hotter. They don't have a bride price. They don't demand money just for you to marry them. Okay, and it's interesting because these Russian and Ukrainian women who went to China to study, go to med school, and become doctors in China, are talking about how they're getting threats from Chinese nationals. They're telling them stop stealing our men. Yeah. So not only do you not want to treat men well and appreciate them and be good to them and be like loving wives, you also don't want anyone else touching your men. Sound familiar? Black women. Yeah, they're the same way. They've been complaining about that for a long time. They hate when black men date other races. They hate it so much. Yeah. They made death threats. It's by the way, same community that made death threats to Jin. Jin was a Asian rapper in America. He's the Asian dude from Too Fast, Too Furious. He won 15 weeks in a row the freestyle rap battle on BET, right? After 15 wins in a row, you're granted an automatic record contract. Well, you know what happened to him? He got death threats from blacks. Yeah, they're like, get out of here. This is our sector. This is our industry. And so he left. He moved to Hong Kong to go be a rapper out there. That's why you don't hear about him anymore. Yeah, the one Asian dude in Too Fast, Too Furious. That's why you don't hear about him anymore. Yep. It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm telling you, they're insufferable demographic. You'd even put on makeup to be on a podcast, lady. Holy shit. Talk about not trying, huh? Anyways, next story. Alex Soros Alex Soros did an Independence Day post, but has a little Freudian slip here. He says here, "Happy 250th birthday, America. I'll never loving it." Yeah, "I'll never loving it" is what he wrote. "I'll never loving it." Yeah. Something tells me he intentionally omitted the word stop. But hey, right? There's Huma Abedin. That was Hillary Clinton's handler. Remember her? You saw her alongside Hillary throughout her entire 2016 campaign. She has direct connections to the Muslim Brotherhood. They are absolutely trying to destroy America. Yeah. Anywho, so that's what he has to post for 250. Next story. In Florida, they've got new signs up that says President Donald J. Trump International Airport. Look at that beautiful sign. Good stuff. Yeah, they named the airport after. They renamed the airport after him a long time ago. Now just starting to do this. By the way, all of you Gulf states, meaning states that touch the Gulf of America, you have streets that still say Gulf of Mexico Road, Gulf of Mexico Avenue. Okay, Florida has that. You all got to fix that. Okay, Tampa, Florida. You know, Longboat Key, where Rumble headquarters is, still has Gulf of America Road. Yeah. Next story. This guy here is from Germany. He came to America to check out the World Cup. And he wasn't also, like others, were not expecting a lot of goodness out of here. He was expecting tyranny. He was expecting soldiers pointing guns at him everywhere, asking him for papers, right? And he was also expecting ICE to harass him for being a foreigner. And he turned out he loved it here. And he says himself that he feels sad because he fell for the propaganda that his Nazi country has put out about America.
Sorry.
It makes you teary. Why? Help us understand. Why is it so impactful to you?
Sebastian Krauss never imagined his trip to America would be so emotional.
Yeah. No, you're human. Happy tears. Yeah.
In just a few weeks being here,
I fall in love with this country, and this was so emotional. I even cried in the stadium.
It's a huge departure from what he was expecting before traveling to follow the German soccer team in its World Cup run.
To be honest, I was a bit scared or had the fear to travel to the United States. News about shootings and criminals and that the country is not safe.
That's actually true. Parts of that is actually true. It's called New York, Chicago, LA, Miami. Yeah, you don't want to be out at night. Even right now with heightened security because of the World Cup, you don't want to be out at night. Okay?
It's not safe. God takes us home. It's great. America is great.
Sebastian met a group of strangers who offered him a ride to his hotel.
What is the best city?
Boston. That's Bob Series and his family, New Englanders who showed a group of Germans that Boston is warmer than some might believe.
Bob, thank you. Love USA.
Enjoy your time in the U.S.
To me, I watched the video by myself maybe 40 times. I had tears in my eyes.
Sebastian was more upset about the prospect of leaving America than Germany being eliminated from the tournament. That kindness he experienced is also what many locals and transplants have lived as well.
I loved living here. I thought that people were always so kind.
People here are very polite.
The World Cup just made it easier for folks to see.
I certainly talk to a lot more strangers than I normally do.
And you think it's because of the World Cup?
I do.
Americans are not rude. Germans are not rude. If we are together, we can achieve.
Non-AFD party members are rude. Yes, that is. They are terrible. Pretty rude to, I don't know, kill your political opponents. A lot of that going on in Germany. You know what's sad about this, though? He's not going to be able to go back home and tell anyone about it because it's illegal. Yeah, can't say anything good about America. Can't be in the AFD party, right? They're trying to ban that party. They're going to make that illegal. Antifa will come after you. Remember that German soccer player that had to delete his social media because he posted a few good things about America, and Antifa started threatening his family. Yeah, that soccer player got invited to the White House, by the way. So very sad that he's not going to be able to go home and tell people about this.
Great things.
Sebastian's going to be sticking around for a little longer. He's going to spend the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. Then he goes back home to Germany to his family and friends. He's going to be telling them all about our country. And as for our Good Samaritan Bob, I spoke with him over the phone. He says that he's just trying to pay back all the kindness that he received when he traveled the world. And he agrees New England and Boston are actually a friendly place.
Yeah. Yeah, most of us are. Most of us are pretty awesome, okay? And I'll tell you what, do you want to know why we're so pissed off about mass migration? Okay? Because they're ruining the good parts of this country. Okay? They've already ruined all the blue states. Now this is spreading out to the red states. They're going to try to ruin that as well. They're ruining this country, okay? That's why. A lot of us don't have jobs. A lot of us can't get jobs because HR and LinkedIn and Robert Half and Career Builder is all run by a bunch of BIPOCs who don't like light skinners, don't like Christians, don't like conservatives, don't like patriots, don't like America. Awful, awful. We still need to fix all that. We have a long ways to go. None of us are safe at work. We're all going to get set up by our own coworkers, our own BIPOC coworkers who don't like us. Okay.
Germans are not rude.
Anyways, now you know why we're so mad. That's why we're mad. This is at the what building is this? This is at the Department of Interior building. There was 2 signs posted here, and people were kind of criticizing this. First of all, they didn't read the sign. And they're saying, Donald Trump's trying to portray him as the first real leader of America. No, it's not. The words above George Washington says America's first, meaning he's the first president. He's actually the 7th, by the way. And the words above Trump does not have the apostrophe or the S. It says America first. Okay. So that's he posted that and clarified that all you have to do is look at the fact that the word's a little bit different. Next story. Donald Trump posted this morning. He wrote that over 273 Americans have been shot since the war in Iran began. However, he was not referring to soldiers deployed abroad. He was referring to people in Chicago. Yeah, because that's how it is in these Democrat liberal cities, Mr. German guy. Yeah, places you don't want to be out at night in. Holy crap, that's awful. Yeah, we lost 30. By the way, we're down 14 now. Yeah, the helicopter that crashed the other day, there's 4 people. They recovered 3, and then this morning they just about an hour ago they called off the search. They suspended the search for the last person. So we just lost another one. Which again, reasons why we need to finish the job. Just like the Gold Star families asked you, Mr. President, we need to finish the job. I have a feeling he's going to wait until after midterms, though, because if we drive up that oil price again, 2 things are going to get worse. The economy is going to get worse because of the cost of energy, and then also the Russian war, the Russian-Ukrainian war will ramp back up because Russia will suddenly have a larger surplus of income by selling more expensive oil after price goes up. So, yep, strategy. I'm almost certain that that's what's happening. Next story. Donald Trump has called for the removal of Judge Sparkle Sukanen. This is a person who was not elected. They were not born in the USA. They also don't like America. This person here was the one who struck down Trump's EO that would require citizenship to vote. Yeah, citizens voting in a non-citizen ensuring. So Trump was trying to make it so that they would check citizenship in order to vote, but nope, she blocked it. So I don't know what's happening this November now. I just know that Thune Holy crap, man. What do we do about Thune? How are we going to fix this? Are we really going to go through this again? Are we really going to let Newsom steal and trash the country for another 4 years and we're going to have to live through that? Holy crap. Next story. Cuba's president did an interview and stated that Cuba is not afraid of the U.S. and is getting ready so that we're not surprised or defeated. Yeah. You know who else said the same thing? Iran. And you know what they are? Buried. Not officially buried. Yeah, anyways. It says, we're willing to die for the revolution. Yeah, we noticed. Yeah, lots of you going from starvation. Yeah, because you don't have food. Dum-dum.
But do you believe they are going to use force and an attack is imminent?
If there is an attack, the Cuban people will respond in unity, firmness, and in defense of our sovereignty. We don't want the war, but we're not afraid of it. And we are getting ready so that we're not surprised or defeated.
Yeah, Venezuela was also ready. So was Iran. Their equipment doesn't work. And we know where you get yours too. China. Same place they got it. Nice radars, comrade.
And we can talk about how you're getting ready in a moment, but we have seen a military buildup off your coast. When Donald Trump has threatened Venezuela, for example, he has acted. When he has threatened Iran, he has acted. I know you're saying that me asking whether an attack being imminent is hypothetical, but we've seen in the past when he has said something, he has done it. Are you taking what he is saying seriously when he says we can take Cuba?
We need to move away from confrontation for the sake of both our peoples. I think that the American people, for which we are respectful, and the Cuban people can have a wonderful relationship as very good neighbors because we're very close to each other. I, like many other million Cubans, are willing to give our lives for the revolution. And we are willing to fight to the very last drop of blood in order to defend our rights, our independence, our sovereignty, and our achievements.
Yeah, good luck with that. Next story. Before we do this, let's go check this out real quick. Some stuff just popped up. There's a small plane crashed in the, what is it, the Hudson River? This is in the East River. A small plane crashed in the East River out in New York there. So that just happened to go right now. Anyways, it looks like a soft landing. What is this? China just built a chip that outperforms NVIDIA. Yeah, we've heard those rumors before. It's not true. Good luck selling that chip. I'm sure people are lining up to buy those chips right now, huh? Anyways, Spirit Airlines' iconic yellow aircraft have been moved to an aircraft boneyard in Arizona desert after the U.S. carrier ceased operations and permanently suspended all flights. Yeah, they've already been parted out. The engines have already been reappropriated. Anyone who might have wanted to buy the seats on the inside, put it in their planes, they can do that. But yes, these planes are no longer in service. I've driven by this boneyard a number of times. Yeah, there's also a lot of military aircraft as well out there. Wow, it's like a salvage yard, but for like airplanes. Very big. Next story. Freedom 250 stuff. Look at this. A bunch of Apache helicopters fly very, very low across the beach during Independence Day. Look at that. That's gotta be nerve-wracking. You're flying that low over, like, directly over people, you know? What if it's a malfunction? Huh? What if people throw stuff on your blades? You know, lots of haters out there, but hey, you know, they're flying a lot higher than the others. But cool stuff. I would have been pretty stoked to be there. So there's that. Also, the Thunderbirds. Look at that. They're F-18s doing an air show. Look how close they're flying. That makes me nervous. I believe it was just a few weeks ago there were two fighter jets. They were doing something very similar. They're practicing formation flying like that, and they actually crashed. They had to both eject out. The planes are gone. I don't remember what kind of jets they were though, but I think there are 35s, which would be probably optimal because 35s are cheap. They're the cheapest ones right now. Anyways, so there's that. Good stuff. This is over the Hudson River. Look at these planes flying over and painting our flag, the colors of our flag into the sky. That is very nice. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Good stuff. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What else is there? Oh yeah, last night was the Independence Day festivities in DC. It got rained out. Yeah, they didn't cancel it though. They postponed it until the rain went away. So this is yet the second event, coincidentally, getting rained out. So I'm almost certain that these Marxist billionaires are buying weather and making it rain, and then we have to counter buy weather to make it clear again. Because yeah, you can actually you can absolutely purchase rain, by the way, and sunshine. So they had to oh, by the way, if there was lightning, so they had to evacuate everyone, right? So people got evacuated, and look what they did.
People who were sheltering from the storm here in DC last night got in on the fun, like this stunning scene capturing hundreds of Americans simultaneously belting out our national anthem.
Good stuff. Yeah, so they actually had to evacuate because if a lightning hit, your body's all over the floor if lightning would have struck. And so they all actually had to evacuate. Unfortunately, some people had to leave because they had flights to catch. Some of them were probably from nearby states and they drove there and they didn't want to drive home 4 a.m, you know. So they left, and you know, there's still tens of thousands that returned for the actual festivities, which by the way, we're going to watch at the end of this show here. Almost all of it. We'll watch most of it other than the fireworks show. Fireworks show will be on Rumble only. Rumble and Foxhole, because there's a lot of copyright music there. But it was great. Well, we're going to watch that. Oh, and by the way, while everyone was taking shelter, right? Here's Trump and Melania watching the news taking shelter. Look at what they're watching. They're watching themselves on TV. Like, they're here, they're there, they're also there.
Now, but the fact that we are here 250 years later with the technology that has advanced society from medicine to transportation to all of it, to the way we broadcast, our founders never would have envisioned any of this.
Anyways, that's good stuff. So there's that. They did light up the obelisk. Yeah. Laser projectors. Very nice. Very fancy. So they lit that up, and then what else was there? Yeah, and by the way, they did break the record for the largest fireworks show in the history of this country. 850,000 munitions set off. This is the finale. I think pretty close to the finale. I gotta mute the music. Yeah, this was the finale. There are so many going off that it literally turned it into daylight. Yeah. So I've been to Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas. One of the biggest music festivals you can go to in America. I've seen a fireworks show there. I was skeptical about whether they were actually going to beat that fireworks show, and then they did. The only difference is the one at EDC is that it surrounds the whole festival ground, so it's in a big circle. What else is there? Oh yeah, here's time lapse of the fireworks. Hold on. Here's time lapse of hold on. Let me do that again. Here's time lapse of the Independence Day fireworks show. Look at that. Oh, they had a little bit of wind. Okay. Yeah, you always need a little bit of wind during a fireworks show to clear out the smoke so you can continue seeing it. Because if the smoke just hangs around, it'll just muffle the colors. You won't be able to see any of it. Which in some camera angles, you weren't able to see all of this. I was surprised at how many barges were firing. Because that is definitely a lot more than at EDC. In Coronado Bay, they have 4 barges. And this is a lot more than that. What is it? I'm looking at what, 7, 8, 9 in the ocean, and then you got one on land. So you got a few on land as well. So look how long this is. This is a time lapse. This is a fireworks show. Yeah, all the way to the end. Yeah, that was not looped, and that was not looped. And I also scrubbed forward all of it. Yeah. Or half of it. Anyways, so there's that. What else is there? Ooh, the vets. The World War II vets got the best seats in the house. Look at that. Well-deserved seats, huh? Yeah. Without these dudes, we'd be speaking Deutschland. We'd be speaking German. Next story. Boston had their own little drone show. They had a ship do a reenactment of the Boston Tea Party. Look at this. Hold on. Let me zoom this. Let me do this over again. Let me zoom in. There we go. I think that looks good. Boston had their own little Independence Day. Hold on. Damn it, let me do that. Damn it. Boston had a drone show for. Great. Now it's off center. This sucks, man. Hold on. Let me figure this out. Windows is awful at this. I need to get a Mac. That's what I gotta do. There you go. Let's do that. Okay. Boston had a drone show for Independence Day and they reenacted the Boston Tea Party. Look at that. Look at the crates going aboard. Yeah, get rid of that British tea. Huh? Get rid of that crap tea. It's awful.
Yeah, throwing the Boston tea to the harbor.
That's great. Guys, that was over Texas. Okay? Can you imagine how wrecked the Atlantic Ocean would be if we had to throw aboard everything we're taxed for today? Can you imagine that? Gasoline, property taxes, cigarette taxes. Imagine coating the Atlantic Ocean with cigarettes and gasoline. Property taxes, we gotta throw our houses in the ocean. We really let this tax shit get overboard, huh? Holy crap. As soon as the founding fathers are no longer around to say, hey, we died for this shit. We died to get rid of this tax shit, and you guys just allowed it right back in, including, by the way, income tax, which was supposed to be temporary and is unconstitutional, by the way. Here's Las Vegas. Las Vegas also celebrated Independence Day. Look at this. Ooh, Planet Hollywood. Oh, look, actually, a lot of others. Treasure Island down there is firing as well. I see Trump Tower way down there. Fontainebleau's firing as well. Okay. Well, this is all synchronized, huh? Yeah. The only thing I'm not a fan of with the Las Vegas fireworks is hold on. What I'm not a fan of the Las Vegas fireworks is because they launch it from the roofs, right? So they don't really need like Class C and Class D firework aerial shells because they only need to go up about 100 feet because they start high. But if they actually use Class C and Class D aerial shells, it would go way the hell higher, you know? Then the whole strip could see it from one hotel. But no, they get the crappy ones that only go up like 100 feet. It's like, okay. Cheap. I don't know. Maybe their roofs aren't stable enough for Class D. Next story. In Oklahoma, they not only got a fireworks show, they got a lightning show to go with it. Look at that. Ooh. Aerial shells and thunder and lightning. Wow, that is a gorgeous shot. This must be an Apple phone, by the way. They filmed the best videos. They filmed the best night shots. Yeah, I knew. There's that. New York City's fireworks show was a disaster. Parts of the bridge caught fire. Yeah. This is what happens when communists do things. They fail. Just like all the bridges that collapsed in China. You know, just like the electric cars that catch fire in China. Fun fact, Tesla batteries are made in China. Yeah. Cheap, safe. By the way, yesterday's video we saw about China banning motorcycles, what it was they banned electric scooters from carrying heavy cargo because there was a very specific area where they were going to pick up, you know, merchandise to transport, and a lot of them will park side by side, and if one battery catches fire, it torches every motorcycle in the area. And so people have to use horses now in those areas. But the people using horses were just trying to make a statement, actually, because you can still use gasoline motorcycles, just not electric scooters at the commercial districts. But again, the problem is not the fact that people are using electric scooters. The problem is that China allows these batteries to make faulty batteries. Why? Because it's government-owned battery companies, and they don't want to be responsible for it. They don't want to, be paying lawsuits out, right? So instead of going after the battery company, which is their own anyways, they go after the people who own the batteries. Next story. Also in New York, this is in Brooklyn, a bunch of people popped off, pew, pew, pew. And that's how we do Independence Day in New York City. Yeah, to that German guy. Yeah, it is still dangerous, But no worse than like London, right? No worse than Munich, right? No worse than when you have those Christmas parades that the Arabs drive through. No worse than that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyways. So there's that. A story. Which one is it? Oh, this is what is this one? Newport Beach. This is out of Newport Beach. People refuse to go home after the beach closed, so they have to send the horses. Which is bizarre. I remember them using ATVs. I've been to this beach before. Usually it's pretty civil. They sweep the beach, they tell people to go home, and this time they didn't want to listen because again, these beaches in California, no matter where you are, no matter how swanky your beach is, even if you go to like Dana Point, you're gonna have beaches riddled with Mexicans. It's just what they do. I don't know, it's just a thing. Yeah, Mexicans love barbecuing at the beach. It's a thing. Wow. Anyways, so there's that. I don't know when this was. Open a World Cup event. This is some event. This is some event prior to the opening of the World Cup. But when the U.S. flag was brought out, the Canadians booed us. They just got eliminated last night. Yeah. Yeah, they lost 0-3. Next story. Today, Mexico's playing England, and the Mexicans went to the hotels where the English soccer players playing, and they made a bunch of noise like this so they couldn't get any sleep. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see us doing this in America or Canada. But hey, they do after all have a cheating culture, right? Lots of cheating in the families and relationships. They're known for it. They're known for it. I always had a thing for Mexican chicks, but no loyalty at all. No loyalty at all. Cannot risk it, because I get cheated on again. Someone's gonna die, and it ain't gonna be the guy. It's gonna be the hyena. The hyena. Anyways. So yeah, this is what they're doing to the English soccer team. I'm now cheering for England. I'd rather cheer for an Islamic nation named England than a Christian nation named Mexico at this point, because you guys are a bunch of poor sports and you're cheating like this. That's fucked up. They're gonna be so tired today now. We can only hope that the Mexican team will have hangovers, right? We saw that with Scotland. Remember that? Remember that match? Yeah. It's funny. Me and the hens were watching soccer over on Foxhole, and we're watching the Scottish team, and we're like, boy, these guys are not playing very well. I'm like, yeah, they either are hungover or they practiced while they were hungover all week. Anyways, so there's that. Okay, so we are gonna go now start the Independence Day festivities from last night. We're gonna watch the first half on all platforms, including YouTube. Christopher Macchio's performance, as well as Lee Greenwood and Trump's speech, as well as his historical presentation. It's actually really good. They brought in like key historical figures that are still alive. Francis Scott Key, the bridge, remember the bridge that collapsed, the guy that wrote the national anthem or whatever. His son was there, and maybe not his son, but his descendant, and is actually an active serviceman, by the way, 24 years in the service. He was there. They also brought in the remaining World War II vets. They were there. They brought out like the flag, the original flag that was draped over Abraham Lincoln's coffin, and like 2 other flags as well. A lot of historical artifacts brought out. So it was pretty cool. It wasn't just your usual speech by Trump. It was a historical, and it wasn't boring either. You think of history lesson pretty boring. No, it was pretty interesting. So we got all that, but before that, I want to let you guys know I got a bunch of other channels. Go to the main page. You'll find Frank's Funny Shorts, Frank's Informative Shorts, and Frank's Show Clips. Thank you to those who've been hyping videos on the main channel here. But if you can, please hype videos on that channel over there. You only get 3 hypes per week. And if you hype a big channel like this one, it'll get like 100 points. If you hype a video on that channel, it gets 2,000 points. So it'll be way more impactful over there. And thank you for subscribing there. Please ring the bell for notifications, and don't forget. Also, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, subscribe to our Patreon are ways you can support the channel, or you can become a member like OK Good. Thank you very much, OK Good Lee, and a number of others who have memberships. Not today though, huh? There's Sup Dog, Happy Alberta. You can buy a membership. It's $3 a month, or you can do that in Rumble as well, just like the lovely Jillian, like Jean, like Campbell. There's $5 a month there, but you get access to our Rumble Premium Hangouts. And you can even buy a membership over on Foxhole. You get a tag next to your name, like Josie has. It says Frank's Hands. Yeah, awesome. Anyways, thank y'all for being here. So we're gonna watch the first half, and then when it gets to the fireworks show part, we gotta cut off the YouTube because of all the copyright music. Okay, very good, by the way. That fireworks show was not, they didn't just play the song with the fireworks. All the music was played by the Marines, the Marine marching band, and everything. The singers are all live, and everything's pretty cool. Anyways, here we go.
alle pari vincerò. Ladies and gentlemen, that means in Italian, no one sleeps. Because no one sleeps tonight and we hear our president speak. And now, if you'll do me the great honor, please join me in God Bless America.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, free. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. Good evening, America. If you think that was, it wasn't. And I want to thank everybody because they did the right thing. They saw lightning, and I said, there's no way if we have to speak in front of one person at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be here. There's no way we can be deterred. And they estimated they had 375,000 people before everybody had to leave. And they now have 150,000 people. It's the craziest thing anyone's ever seen, at least. And I want to just thank you. And I feel so badly about some people. They left and they couldn't get back. But you're very special people. And we have a very special country. Thank you very much. Tonight we come together for one of the most joyous and glorious milestones of all time, and you know what that is, 250, the 250th anniversary. And I do have to say this. One of my very brilliant people backstage said, don't worry about it, sir. We can do it maybe next week. I said, it doesn't work next week. This is the big day. We want July 4th. We're not looking for July something else. Because this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Nothing like it. For 2.5 centuries, our American republic has stood as the crowning achievement of human history. This country is the home of freedom. This is the land of liberty. And this is a flag that's the banner of the most extraordinary, most exceptional, most incredible nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And we're doing better now than we've ever done before. No people have done more good, shown more courage, made more progress, righted more injustice, or achieved more greatness than you, the American people. For 250 years, the United States of America has been the hope, the promise, the light, and the glory among all of the nations of the world. All over the world, they try and be like us. Nobody can be like us. And with God's help, we will always be this or even better. We're going to be better. Here on our National Mall, we're celebrating freedom's triumph over tyranny, liberty's conquest over oppression, and the enduring victory of the American spirit from the July 4th, 1776 to July 4th, 2026. Big dates. That's big dates. Two big ones. And tonight our country is stronger, freer, richer, safer, and prouder than ever before. But it all started with the miracle of history that lives forever in the heart of every single patriot. In Philadelphia, our founding fathers summoned the courage of giants and the wisdom of centuries to boldly proclaim these timeless truths.
they declared that all men are created equal, that they are endowed with sacred, unalienable rights by the hand of our Creator, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In signing their names to the roster of freedom, those 56 patriots put everything at risk, stepped onto the stage of destiny, and seized a victory for the ages, and that's what it was. And this is an evening for the ages, I believe. This is something very special. This is bigger than if we didn't have the lightning blaring. We had lightning blaring, but this is bigger. Little more inconvenient, but it's bigger. I think in its own way, it's more beautiful. From the beginning, we were a nation that lived by the motto, victory or death, and live free or die. 1 out of every 100 Americans gave their lives in the fight for independence to remind us of who these heroes were and what they gave us. We are honored to have here tonight in the heart of our nation's capital one of the very first American flags ever to exist. Dating back to 1777, it bears the 13 stars and 13 stripes of the 13 states that declared independence on the 4th of July. There it is. This was the flag that flew victorious at Saratoga. And these are the real deals, too. These are the real flags. These are flags that have seen a lot. These were the stars and stripes that flew triumphant when the British waved the white flag of surrender at Yorktown. That was a big surrender. Nobody thought that was possible. They were the greatest power of the world, and they surrendered, and that was the beginning. Ever since, the entire world has been on notice that Americans will never let anyone take our freedom away. It won't happen. And all these talks from the communists, they haven't got a chance. Not even a chance. We don't want communists in our country. Never worked, and it never will work. Americans must never forget that we are a historic and heroic people with a heroic spirit and a heroic purpose on this beautiful earth of ours. We are made of the courage and the fire and the flesh and the blood of the best and the bravest people this world has ever produced. We are the bravest and the best. Tonight we pledge allegiance to the flag they gave us, and we say, God bless the immortal patriots of 1776, and long live the cause of independence. May it reign forever and ever and ever. We will always be on top. We will never let our country fall. We will always be the best. Our founders not only won our liberty, they secured it with the most righteous political document ever conceived. It's called the Constitution of the United States. Very special. And it's because of their genius that we remain the finest people on the planet after 250 years. Unlike so many others in the world, in this country, we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, equal justice under the law, although I wasn't treated that well, but we won't get into that. And the right to keep and bear arms. And for the almost 6 years that I was president, I guarded very, very powerfully your Second Amendment, and they didn't do a thing to it, and it was not easy. But we guard your Second Amendment. We guard it very, very strongly and cautiously. Across the generations, Americans have fought, bled, and died, not just to secure those, to expand them to citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. because we are one people. We are one family. You showed that tonight with one flag. And as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one Almighty God. And a communist will sure. Few heroes remind us more than William Carney, who escaped slavery to become a Union soldier in the Civil War, which was a very big deal at the time. One of the battle he saw, comrades struck down enemy fire while carrying the Stars and Stripes, and Sergeant Carney dove to the ground to keep the flag from touching the mud. He didn't want to have it touch the ground. He didn't want to have it touch the mud. He wanted it to be perfect. He raised it high above the field and was shot 4 times. They thought he was gone, but he kept moving forward. He loved our country. He loved our flag. Before he returned to camp and announced, "Boys, the old flag never touched the ground." And he became the first African American to receive the Medal of Vietnam. He helped lead a surprise attack on 100 enemy combatants. They said he was finished. He looks great, and he's brave. Because of heroes like these, our flag will always be a symbol of liberty and justice for all. Colonel Davis, thank you very much. Great man. Great man, thank you. Americans expanded the blessings of freedom, and we have never stopped expanding our...
Oh, I got some good news. You know, in the World Cup, right, the last match that we had, there was a U.S. player that got a red card. Trump thanked, so they reviewed it. FIFA reviewed it, and they got rid of the red card. They suspended the red card, so that player will play, and they also will not have that strike on their record. And Trump says thank you to FIFA for that. So good stuff.
Ambitions and our dreams. We had the American dream. We never had the American dream, however, like we have it right now. The American dream is back, very strong, beautiful. You know, to get into our military now is tough. 2 years ago, we couldn't fill a job, and now it's overflowing. We have so many, setting records. We're setting records. It's actually hard to get in. That includes our great police forces and our firemen. They couldn't hire anybody. Nobody wanted to do it. Now it's hard to get those positions, but it's really hard to get into our military because people respect and love our country again. Our rise to being the world's strongest and most powerful nation was no accident of history. We rebuilt our military in my first term. We use it a little bit in our, actually I should say third term, but I won't do that because I don't want any controversy. But we use it, and we've had tremendous success. You look at Venezuela, you look at Iran, we wiped it out, wiped out their military. Americans crossed the Great Plains, scaled the Rockies, we just tamed the wilderness and conquered the frontier and built the empire. It's called the Empire of Liberty. We laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, those beautiful skyscrapers, and dug out the Panama Canal, considered the 8th wonder of the world, which everyone said was an impossible thing to do. And by the way, 38,000 Americans died to give us one of the greatest engineering feats of all time, the Panama Canal. This was the unstoppable spirit that created the world's most powerful industries and built the strongest military anyone had ever seen. And today it is stronger and more powerful than it ever was before. American grit, boldness, and daring forged heroes like Davy Crockett, Wyatt Earp, Annie Oakley, Teddy Roosevelt, and the legend of the Wild West, Buffalo Bill Cody. These were great powerful people whose incredible grandchildren happen to be with us tonight. And they stand alongside one of the first American flags ever to fly over our expanding nation. It was carried west just as Lewis and Clark began their journey in 1803. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to have you. Great to have you, to honor this audacious and indomitable soul of America. We also have the first flag ever to fly over one of the greatest architectural feats of all time, a thing called the Brooklyn Bridge, one of the most beautiful bridges anywhere in the world, built a long time ago. To its right, the banner that flew atop our flagship after America's Navy sank the Spanish fleet to the bottom of the Manila Bay, one of the greatest naval victories in history. Much like our recent victory by sinking the entire Iranian Navy, 159 ships, to the bottom of the sea, all done in just a moment's time, happened very quickly. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. And next to it, we also have the flag that was given to that immortal, just a fantastic, immortal Rough Rider, the one and only. And I was at the museum the other day at its opening. Theodore Roosevelt, when he returned triumphant from Cuba, printed with the words, "Welcome home, Colonel Roosevelt." He was a victor of San Juan Hill. He was a great gentleman. Americans won the West and built the modern world because America is a nation of winners. And today our country is winning again, and we're winning like never before. America is back, and we want to keep America great, and we will do so by approving the Save America Act, which means all voters must show voter ID. All voters must provide a little thing called proof of citizenship. And there will be no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. And you won't have cheating on the elections anymore. It's very simple. Together, we are also reasserting the truth that American strength and power is not something to be ashamed of. It is something that we are very, very proud of. This country has been the greatest force for peace and justice on earth. In the last century, we defeated tyrants, demolished evil, and saved freedom again and again and again. Ken Schubring was 19 years old when he survived the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. After enemy planes sank ships like the USS Arizona, he resolved that he would help America strike back and win. He wanted them to strike back and win. Flying B-29s in the Pacific, Ken fought from the first day to the very last. He was in the war right from the first day, and he went to the last day and all the way to the enemy's unconditional surrender. We got an unconditional surrender. He was there at 104 years old and looking really good. Captain Schubring is here tonight, and he is saluting the flag that went down with the Arizona at Pearl Harbor, but was raised back up with the help of some unbelievable American patriots. It's a symbol of American defiance. Please. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain. Great job. Thank you very much. You have very good genes. That's his son. His son's going to be around a long time. Thank you very much, Captain. On D-Day in World War II, Navy Lieutenant Arthur Rose commanded 36 landing craft as part of the largest naval armada in history. Recalling that sight, he wrote home to his parents, "What a country we are." At 107 years old, Lieutenant Rose is here to salute one of our nation's most prized possessions, the flag that flew aboard the first landing craft on D-Day and led the first Americans onto the beaches of Normandy to liberate Europe and defeat Nazi fascism forever. Lieutenant Rose, you are an inspiration to this beautiful crowd, and we thank you very much. Amazing man. 107. It's 107. On Iwo Jima in the Pacific, the Marines faced some of the most brutal combat in the history of warfare. They shed their blood for every inch of mountain that they reached. And when they reached the summit and raised the stars and stripes for all to see, it was so special to everybody there. Everybody there and everybody watching. They couldn't believe it. It wasn't supposed to happen. With us today is one of the last survivors of that battle, 101-year-old Marine Corporal Don Graves. And he's here to salute that famous flag he saw rise in the glory of Iwo Jima 81 years ago. And you've all seen that flag many times. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the fighters and the banners of the greatest generation. They are the greatest generation. I hate to admit that, but they are. They saved the world, and they made America very, very proud. We're very proud of you, heroes all. And after we vanquished fascism, Americans stood against the evil of communism in the Cold War. And as I said last night at the beautiful Mount Rushmore, what a beautiful place, where Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt loomed over my shoulder as I spoke. America will never be a communist country. Won't happen. Communism is a loser, and it always will be. The communist system is the opposite of the American system, and the communist system has never worked. Our warriors did not fight communism on battlefields across the world, only to have that menace rear its ugly head right back here in America. We're not going to let it happen. We like to stop a threat like that immediately and before it begins. It's like a cancer. You got to cut it out. You got to cut it out fast. Tonight, we proudly thank veterans of the war on communism, including Marine Corporal Pat Finn and Private First Class Rudy Meekins, who fought at the famed Battle of Chosin Reservoir in Korea. That was a rough one. Thank you. Pat fought in hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. He had 5 against him, and he was 1. And as you can see, he's around to talk about it. And Rudy was wounded 4 times, but never stopped shooting, and he never stopped moving forward. And also with us is veteran Sonny Ray, who fought heroically against an enemy force 10 times his unit size and earned a tremendously deserved Silver Star. Tonight they salute one of the very first 50-star flags to fly above the field of battle. This was about the beginning of the 50. And right next to it is one of the last flags from Checkpoint Charlie, very famous place on the Berlin Wall, where American freedom finally brought communism crashing down to an end. Thank you so much. You are really very special. Thank you. Thank you very much. The Stars and Stripes cast the hammer and sickle into oblivion before, and we will do it again if necessary. I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think people have learned. They've learned what to do and how to handle it, and we're going to handle it very well. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. You're amazing people, amazing men. Thank you. How about that, huh? Isn't that great? What an honor it is to be with them. Think of it, 107. That's up there, but hopefully he's got 20 good years left. Through the generations, Americans have never stopped striving to lift humanity to new heights. In 1903, the Wright brothers from Ohio fulfilled the age-old dream of mankind to fly. That's right, they're from Ohio, great state. And within 66 years of inventing the airplane, Americans planted our flag on the moon. Just 3 months ago, we sent American astronauts back to the far side of the moon, and this time they flew further from Earth than anyone has ever flown before. And here they are. So tonight we're joined by that crew of NASA Artemis, you know the crew, everybody. Artemis 2, and everybody watched. Isn't that amazing? And they became very famous. Everybody watched. I was watching. I don't know what it was. That one got the attention of everybody. And along with the last man to walk on the moon, Apollo 17 astronaut Jack Schmitt. Thank you, Jack. You look like you could be with them, Jack. You look very good. You look very good, Jack. Thank you very much. What a job. Everybody was watching. I was with a group of people that normally wouldn't be watching, and we were having a big dinner, and they all said, we want to turn on, we want to watch Artemis 2. A lot of people said, what is that? By the end of the evening, they knew. It was amazing. And along with Jared, where's Jared? He's so great. He's running NASA. What a job he's done. So I want to thank you all. Thank you very much. Great job. So these champions of flight stand this evening beside the flag flown on the Wright brothers airplane, piloted by Orville Wright. It's the exact flag, very historic, and they are honored to be here. They told me today they were really amazed to be here with that flag. That's a very special flag if you're in the world of flying aircraft. So congratulations to everybody. Fantastic job. Very proud of you. And I have a special gift for these patriots. This morning on America's 250th birthday, a new flag was flown above the United States Capitol. And tonight I present it to you to soon be planted by American astronauts on their upcoming return to the moon. And in addition to that, I gave them and all of the great heroes that you saw up on stage tonight, and a few others that couldn't quite make the stage, I gave them a very special medal from the White House. So it's an honor. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. So then I assume you're going to be heading to Mars, right? We're going to be going to Mars very soon. And I think that's something that we do have in mind. And we're going to do the moon, and we're going to go from there. We're going to go to Mars, and we're going to continue to be way ahead. You know, we did Space Force. That was something I was very proud of. And some people smiled. They thought it was foolish, and now they're finding it's one of the most important things that we've done. We were losing to China and to Russia in space, and now we're leading them by giant steps, and it's a great thing, and it's people like that really, like you, that made it happen. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, Jeff. So as we celebrate America's unmatched achievements and unlimited potential, we never forget that none of this would have been possible without those who gave everything so that we could reach this 250th year of freedom. We are honored to be joined by 11 Gold Star family members. The Gold Star family, that is one of the great tributes. It's one of the great honors, a tough honor. There's nothing tougher than that. But these are amazing people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Come on up. They went through a lot. Thank you very much. And that special person is looking up there and looking down at mom and dad, husband, wife, but they're looking down with great pride. You know that. You know that. And we want to thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And we have medals for you backstage. I brought them. I thought I'd be handing them out about 3 hours ago. But we're going to be backstage, and we have beautiful medals for you, for your family, from the White House. Thank you very much, everybody. We love you. On this special 4th of July, we give you our undying gratitude and promise to redeem the sacrifice of your heroes by preserving the America that they loved. They loved our country. They sacrificed it all. And these people have sacrificed it all. They've been through hell. We love you. Thank you very much. Thank you. From 1776 to today, everywhere the American flag has flown, it has been a symbol of strength, righteousness, and hope, because that is who Americans are. In 1944, a mother and her daughter huddled in their house in Nazi-occupied Belgium and prayed desperately for their country to be freed. They wanted freed. As they waited, they found scraps of fabric and stitched together a homemade American flag. It's beautiful, but homemade. On the day they were finally liberated, and that's what the word is, liberated, they gave it to an American soldier as a gift. Little did they know that that soldier's great-grandfather was none other than the author of our Star-Spangled Banner, Francis Scott Key. And tonight, the next generation of the Key family is with us. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you. Major Kyle Key has spent 23 years in the U.S. Army, highly respected, and this evening he proudly salutes the old flag that was made by the Belgian woman so beautifully, and who knew that America means hope and freedom. Congratulations, and thank you for being here very much. And in conclusion, from a declaration in Philadelphia to victory at Yorktown, from the bustling factories of the heartland to the towering snow-capped summits of Alaska, from the endless frontier of the open Wild West to the magnificent sand dunes at Kitty Hawk, from the glimmering skyline of Manhattan to the far side of the moon, we just saw that, and from the now safe and beautiful capital of Washington. Think of it, Washington, D.C., our capital. Our capital is now safe, gleaming, and beautiful again. It's safe again. Went from a very unsafe place 2 years ago to one of the safest cities in the country and one of the most beautiful. To the gleaming waters of the Gulf of America. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome. There is no place we cannot go. There is no goal we cannot reach, and there is nothing that Americans cannot do, and we're proving that right now. Our stock market is the strongest it's ever been. We have $19.2 trillion being invested in our country, which is 6 times more than ever happened before. We're building more factories in the United States than ever before. Everyone's 401ks are at the highest number they've ever been. And more people are working today in the United States than any time in the history of our country. But in this country, we can achieve the wildest and most impossible dreams. And no dream in history is bigger or more incredible than the one that started on July 4th, 1776. The war for independence was launched by Minutemen, farmers, blacksmiths, tradesmen, who took up their muskets against the mightiest army on earth, the most powerful army, an unbeatable army until they met us. No one made them do it. They fought because they knew that a free people must have a free country. Over 250 years, the mighty nations and terrible tyrants, they came and they went. But after they came and they went. But after 2.5 centuries, this American republic still stands tall and strong, and we love each other. That showed tonight. You heard it was over, and what happened? You came back. And this American flag still waves proud and free and beautiful. We have thrived and flourished because our founders were great. Our cause was just, our people are brave, our culture is exceptional, and our destiny is written by God. And as we can see here tonight, after 250 years, the spirit of 1776 still lives within us all. It still roars in the hearts of our nation's capital. It still burns in the heart of every patriot, thunders through every city and town, and it still lights the entire world with the glow of American liberty. And there is nothing like that. At 250 years old, we may be the oldest constitutional republic on earth, but our country is just getting started because the best is yet to come. This is only the dawn of the golden age of America, and on this 250th 4th of July, we declare, just as they did 2.5 centuries ago, that for our country and for our children and for the cause of liberty, we are going to take our country to new levels, to levels not reached. We're going to make it bigger, better, stronger, and we're going to love it even more. And I just want to thank you, and the inconvenience of lightning can do that, but lightning will never stop you. And I want to thank everybody, and we love you all, and it's an honor to be your president. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you. We have a great fireworks display tonight, and I'm going to be watching it with you. It's going to start very quickly, so thank you very much. You're going to really like this. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so this portion of this event has lots of copyright music, so I'm going to have to shut off YouTube. It's actually really good. They don't just play the music. They actually... the Marine marching band actually plays all the songs, and they actually even have live singers who are also servicemen, by the way. So I just dropped you a link over on YouTube right there. That's the link to my Rumble channel. When you get there, please make an account and give me a follow. They never fail to put out notifications. I'll see you guys over there. I gotta shut off YouTube because of all the copyright music. But have a great day if I don't see you over there. I hope you'll see you there though. I hope you'll be there though. Bye YouTube. Have a good one.